What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, we're gonna do a little something different today, just a little bit, because I'm more of a chart guy. I'm not as good as talking about the fundamental stuff. I feel like it requires more thought for me. I stumble upon my words and my thoughts. If I'm like thinking in real time as I'm reading something, it can distract me. But let's try and get distracted together here. If we're looking at XRP right now, some big things have happened over the past couple days. Guggenheim, a major U.S. investment firm, is expanding its digital debt product to the XRP ledger through a new partnership with Ripple. That's a big deal, man. That's a really big deal. Let's look up actually Guggenheim. Let's see if Cointelegraph, they have an article here. Let's see. Do we not have an article? That's just it. Let's see. Guggenheim partners with XRP, or with Ripple, technically. Yeah. Guggenheim, investment giant Guggenheim taps Ripple to expand digital debt offering. U.S. investment manager, let's see. Under the partnership, Guggenheim subsidiary Guggenheim Treasury Services will make its U.S. Treasury backed fixed income asset available on the XRP ledger, according to Bloomberg. Ripple will invest $10 million in the asset as part of the collaboration. The commercial product, Ripple will invest that, right? Not XRP. XRP it's different. The commercial paper product is fully backed by U.S. Treasuries with customized maturity options of up to 397 days. What's Guggenheim's market cap? I guess that's what I was really trying to look up. Guggenheim market cap. Do they have a market cap? Is it a publicly owned company? Maybe I should have looked up what's their fund. Closed fund. Okay. Has a market cap of $2.37 billion. So that's big, man. That's big. It's not like crazy, right? XRP's got over $100 billion, but still, partnerships like that are definitely big, and that's a pretty cool thing that's going on. Another thing is that the U.S., and this is a way bigger deal, right? You saved the best for last. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has introduced a proposal that may classify XRP as a key financial asset for the United States. If approved, they can make the XRP ledger, XRPL, a foundational element of the country's financial infrastructure. That's crazy. That's crazy, you guys. Let's see. Was there something else? No. 654 trillion flowing into XRP ledger. I mean, maybe, man. That's some big stuff. But just because it's flowing into the XRP ledger doesn't necessarily mean that will reflect in the XRP price tip for tap. But it will reflect in the price a good bit. That's for damn sure. Being at $150 billion right now, you definitely have a lot of room to grow. But I just think that's some exciting stuff. The one thing that I really thought was impressive was this one here. Comprehensive proposal, XRP as a strategic financial asset for the U.S. from the SEC itself. Like, my, how the tables have turned, right? That's a big deal right there. I don't know. It sounds like a big deal to me, but what do I know? Again, I'm more of a chart guy. I'm not a fundamentalist. Anyways, here we are at $2.28. $4 or 4 days, 22 hours left in the week. 21 hours, 43 minutes left. We haven't really moved much over the past few days, so it's always good to check in with the news whenever that kind of stuff happens. High to low here, right up above the 382 and holding the 382 as support. You know what I'll say is typically in this kind of situation you'd expect to pull back to the 236, but with the fact that you've consolidated like this over the past 3 days and just moved sideways here, I think that you will just persist higher to the golden ratio. This is actually very bullish, and moments like this, you can actually bypass the golden ratio and go right up to your 786, 886 area. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what we did. Like by the end of this week, right? We're on a daily time frame. I'm talking about by the end of this week, you guys, we really could be at 250 or higher. Certainly, I do think we'll be moving up. It's Wednesday now. Will today close green? Maybe, maybe not. If today closes red, that's fine. But I think tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we will at least be in the golden ratio here, something above 240 to 246. If not higher. We might actually see some the pace pick up for XRP, especially with these bullish things that are happening, man. I can't believe that the price hasn't moved up, or maybe it's about to as a result of that. I don't know. The market's just got to catch up to it first. If we're looking at this here from a high to a low, golden ratio down to your 382.5 area, you're testing that 0.5 zone. Once you break above this 0.5 zone, you should have no problem getting through this area and moving on up to about. I mean, honestly. Man, this is actually making me rethink what I just said. I would think once you hit this zone, you don't stop here. You probably do move up to about $2.90 to $3.12. earlier, just a second ago, like literally right before this, we were talking about, no, it was this one here. This high to low, right? Talking about how this kind of consolidation right above the 382 can lead to a bypass of the golden ratio. You go to the 786, 886 zone. That 786, 886 zone, let's just put that here real quick. Hold on. 886 there, 786 right there. Delete the fibs. Just bear with me, okay? Bear with me. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this. High to low of the overall range, okay? Remember, that was the golden ratio of the smaller range, right? High to low here. This high to low, this is also kind of right there with the golden ratio. But the thing is, or wait, no, that was the 786, 886. I'm sorry, not the golden ratio. That's the 786, 886 area. With this, though, I wouldn't think that you stop here for too long either. I don't think that you're going to stop at the golden ratio. I think you're going to bypass it because this is your second attempt. Maybe what you see is some kind of grind, right? So what I don't expect, just looking at this right now, looking at this fib, and in culmination with that other fib, which is why those yellow lines are there, what I don't expect to see from this is that we move up here and then we move down and then we move up again. It could happen like that, but I would expect, because this is your first interaction with the golden ratio of this larger fib, this will be your second interaction, I would think you just push on through, man. Like, you genuinely could. You could be up at $3 as early as next week. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe even by the end of this week. XRP can move up fast, man. But we have a very short amount of time left in this week. I don't know if that's an appropriate call to make, but I would think if we find turbulence at about 255, 260, whatever, if we find turbulence here, it's probably going to be very tight in this zone, and we'll just slowly crawl through and then move up. Maybe we don't just shred through this golden ratio. We kind of like slowly bleed through, and then over the weekend and going into the early parts of next week, and then next week we start to move up to about 290 to 312. And then following that, going into the end of the month, I would expect, let's see, next week ends on the 22nd. Going into, that last week of the month there, I would expect we're breaking out to new all-time highs. Setting ourselves up for phenomenally higher prices, right? I don't need to do the whole thing where I compare the price to BTC and make sense out of it, but you guys, there's just no way in hell that I see us stopping anywhere else besides like 1138 to 1648. I think this is it, man. That's the money zone right there. That whole zone is the money zone. And relative to this range here, from the high to the low, I would very much think that we hit this. XRP is in a very bullish phase of consolidation. Had an extremely bullish move up here. I'm going to take away all this, right? It would make sense that we see a replicated move, a replicated instance. If we see something that is of a similar magnitude from this low to this immediate high here, not the overall high of the range, just that immediate high, something like that. Maybe not from the low here, just like we're not taking it from the high here. We went from the move where the move ended, not where the high was, not where the low was, but where the move begins, which we haven't. I don't think we started the move yet. It would make sense that, we go right up to prices that are above $11. I really do expect that we're going to see $11 to $16.50, something like that, within the next 6 weeks or so, man. And we're going to probably start to see that the life of that come into effect. We're going to see that come into life over the next 10 days, I would think. I don't know, man. I don't have anything else that I want to say, so I'm probably just going to end it there. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. Let's look at the short-term stuff real quick, I guess. The 1 hour is neutral, more bullishly charged than bearishly charged. If you're expecting lower prices, don't count on them being too much lower. I actually would think that you're moving up. But I mean, I guess I am thinking Bitcoin moves down a little bit, so maybe you move down a little bit to XRP. Let's run with that real quick. Should have probably started with this. I hate going from the long term to the short term. It makes more sense to go short term to long term in my opinion, but whatever. What we just talked about wasn't really even long. Like 6 weeks is not a long time, right? We're at 228 now. If XRP goes to 222, that's fine. Go there. Find support. Whatever. Move up. That's okay. But I do believe, like, after today, going into the end of this week, I think we will only be higher, okay? And going into next week especially. I got nothing else for you guys. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Take it easy. I really am having a hard time seeing XRP going below this low. But if it were to go below this low, if it were to go below 226, 222 would hold. I very much believe that. All right. Take care. Bye.